Hello? Boo Radley, how are you? PP, how are you? Tucker, how are you? How are you? How are you guys doing? I'm currently watching the birds in the background. I have been doing something on a daily basis that I don't know why I keep on doing it. And that is that I am deleting videos before I upload them. So my camera was sitting over by my computer. I am uploading my main channel video and my drama video for the day. And I had just filmed my Peterisms video, which you can see there is no camera equipment, no lights up anymore. I've taken it all down and put it away because I'm not blessed enough to have a little room where I can go into every day and record stuff. And so yeah, I went over there and I was like, oh, I wanted to vlog some stuff and blah, blah, blah before, because I'm getting ready to go to the store and get something to eat for dinner. And I was like, and I didn't even think about it and deleted it. I've been watching so there will be no Peterisms video today. So, but starting tomorrow there will be. Right, Boo Radley? He says, yeah. Little Tucker just snapped at Boo Radley. We weren't very happy with that, were we, Tucker? We don't really know why. They just had their dinner. We went and picked up Pee-Pee's new medicine today. Well, his vet met him because he was out of it. Weren't you, bud? And I'm getting ready to go. Alex is... come on, honey. Come on. You can come up here. Come on. Alex is with his friend tonight. Her mom just flew in from Miami, so they picked up some sushi and they're having dinner and stuff like that at his friend's brother's house. And so I am here. I'm getting ready to go get something to eat, and then I'm going to do a live stream, and Alex said he'll be home in like an hour. See, this is what Boo Radley does. And then I don't know why, but Tucker has been snapping at him tonight when he does it. Like, he's tired of him, like, Boo Radley. And do you see Melanie Daniels, Tippi Hedren, the birds. So, well, I was going to show you some stuff that I got. Okay, excuse me, buddy. Okay, there you go. I cannot believe this. Okay, I don't think there was a card with it. Hold on, I put it in this book because I did not want it to get hurt. So there was no, note or anything in this, which there doesn't need to be. It's so fantastic. But it's by Kelly, and I will link her Instagram with this. Well, all of it is Mousse Kleenex. My nose is driving me crazy. I needed to trim my beard. Well, I mean, I trimmed my beard, but I need to go up there with scissors and cut that little part. Okay, so she has the cutest little business cards in the entire world, and it's called Mousse Kleenex, and she has an Etsy shop, Twitter account, an email, and I will put her stuff underneath here. Okay, so let me show you what she got me. First of all, she drew this picture of me. How fantastic is this? And you know what's so funny is that I have a lot of people have sent me drawings of me with the pink hat on, but I don't have any with the hat on backwards. And look, so there's Alex with the glasses, and there's Pee-Pee, and then there's Boo Radley, and there's Tucker, and there's a fountain pop, and there's a fan. I love it so much. Oh my God. Kelly, this is going to be my thumbnail. So then, if that was not enough, she sent me one of Amelia Fart's. Oh my God. Amelia Fart's, I'm obsessed with you. And she knows it, because Amelia knows I love her. So that was so cool. That's the stuff that I got today in the mail. So thank you so much, Kelly. And if you guys are interested in having little drawings or looking up her stuff, I will show that to you. And then I got 2 books at Half Price Books, which I'll probably do a little book haul. But I got this Ellen Hopkins book, Perfect, because I don't think that I have it. And then I got Suicide Notes from Beautiful Girls. I've heard really good things about this book. So yeah. What is this? This is mail to my house. I was driving through the area and noticed your property. I'm interested in purchasing Well, we're not selling. Sorry. People. How rude. Do you guys get like so much junk mail? We get so much junk mail. I don't really know what I want for dinner tonight. Like, I don't really think that I want... I thought this was my car insurance, but it's not. It's my homeowner's insurance. I think. No, it is my car insurance. Do you know what I've been doing with... So, last night I talked about money. So, you know what I've been doing? So, twice a year I have to pay my car insurance, which is expensive. It's like $500 and something. And then, I also, like in September, I have so many extra bills to pay. I have like membership dues for different things that I'm a member of and on and on and on. And so I like always get stressed out because in September, it's like an extra $1,000 that I have to spend on, all different kinds of things that I'm, you know, part of. So anyway, I have started, like I figured out how much it would be for a total for a year divided by 12. And then I, have another checking account that I never use. And so why does it look like really foggy in here tonight? Do you guys think it does? I felt like that earlier too. Like I put it in my, I put this in my bag when I went to work today, or I went to my office. I love that I get to call writing books work. When I went to my office today, and now it seems really cloudy ever since then, like I got the lens dirty or something. But I divided it by 12, and then every month, like at the beginning of the month, like a bill, I deposit that money, into that account, so that when stuff is due, I just have the money sitting there, if that makes sense. And so, I already, I think, have the money for my car insurance, which isn't even due for 2 months. I don't think it is. I need to look it up and see. Hold on. They say we're young. I'm looking it up right now. I almost have the money for this year. But, so I have it broken down. You can see, this is so corny. People do not believe like how serious I am. So I have like I have 5 things that I have to pay each year, right? And it equals $160 a month. So that's like a separate bill. And then I have right here, look, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. And then once I pay it, like I put a circle through it and cross it out. So see, I'm paid through right now. You guys are probably like, Peter, that is so foolish. I know it is, but like, it's been really helpful to me. And then I don't have to worry about writing an extra check out, you know, like that month, that month, because, then I know the money will be there, so I don't have to worry about like, oh my God, where's this money gonna come from? Do you have extra things like that, like dues, like annual dues that you have to pay for things, and then it becomes super expensive, and you're like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? What is this for that I bought? And why did I save the receipt? I don't know. So yeah, I still haven't given those books to Maddie. I need to do that. All right, well, listen, I'm going to get off here. I feel like I bought something else I wanted to show you guys, but I haven't, but I haven't. So many people gave me suggestions the other day on where to go and get a washer and dryer. Thank you so much. That was really nice. Like, and a lot of people said that I should look up, like mom and pop shops, which I thought was really cool because I had never thought of that. Oh, the other thing, I think somebody emailed me about this. Yeah, they emailed me. Was that I should, hold on a second. Somebody said that I should, I've been like cleaning up this area over here today. check on Craigslist because a lot of people will like come and remove them and they'll take money off and all that kind of stuff. I was like, you know what, that's actually a really good idea. So I'm gonna check on Craigslist, but I'm also gonna check some local places too and see how much they are. I mean, I can afford it, so it's not like, but I don't want to spend $2,000 on a washer and dryer, you know? I went down and I was looking at our washer and dryer today. The washer still works, but it's so basic, and I'm like, it might be nice to have something a little bit nicer, you know? But I'm just so jeans and a t-shirt that I don't really care, you know what I mean? Towels, I just need it to be big enough that we can wash that stuff, because like we go through towels and, you know, sheets we need washed and all that kind of stuff, so. All right, I am going to go get something to eat, and I will be back in just a little bit. I'll probably show you what I get, because that's so exciting, right? Hello. Good morning to you. It feels like the morning. Oh, my Lord. I went to bed with Alex again tonight, and completely crashed. And it's 2:30, and I woke up. So thirsty for this bottle of water all day today, and I saved it in this cart just for this vlog. We watched, I was going to do a live stream tonight and everything, and we watched the assassination of Gianni Versace together. He was out his friend's house watching, they had picked up her mom, and then they went and got food, sushi, and then he was like, over there visiting with them, and then he texted me, he's like, do you want to watch the Versace show together? And I was like, yeah, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna come home. And so he got home like right at 10, and we watched it, and like when it was done, I was like, I am so tired. And he goes, let's go to bed. And I was like, I haven't finished my vlog yet today. And he was like, well, lay down for a little bit, babe. He's like, I can never sleep straight through the night anyway. Even if I slept right now, I'd be up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, like up. I don't know what it is. And so I laid down with him, and we talked for, I don't know, a minute, and both of us, I was out. I don't know if he was out or not, but I assume he was, because I was out. And the next thing I know, I woke up, and it was like 2:15, and I was like, oh my God. And I was having like the weirdest dreams in the entire world. Do you ever just have like the strangest dreams? Like, sometimes my dreams are so vivid. I almost kind of wonder like if it was because I was just eating right before I like went to sleep. And so I went to Whole Foods tonight, and I got the caprese sandwich, and I ate half of it. And then I got a really small cup, well, like the medium-sized cup, but it's still small, of their vegetarian chili. It was so good. It was absolutely delicious. And so anyway, I don't know, maybe it was the chili that gave me weird dreams. But I had a dream that I was like visiting my mom's friend Susie. I've talked about her a lot on here. And she's like my mom's only living friend that I'm still in contact with. And she was her sorority sister in college and everything, and her daughter and I are 7 days apart. And then she has an older daughter that I grew up with too. Like, they would come to visit in the summers, and she just means the world to me. But I was having this like dream that Alex and I were planning a trip to go visit her, and we were trying to figure out like how long to stay out there. Like, were we going to stay there for 3 days? Were we going to stay with Susie? Were we going to get a hotel? On and on and on. And the dream felt so real. Indianapolis needs to fix their damn potholes. I feel like I'm driving like through an obstacle course. It's ridiculous. I'm swerving all over the road trying to miss these things. My ankle itches. I don't know. Woo! God. Oh my Lord. But we were trying to figure out like when we were gonna go visit her, and I woke up and I was like, we need to go visit Susie. Like, we need to go visit Susie now. Do you ever wake up like that with a dream? So I was like, call Susie tomorrow and Susie has wanted me to come and visit her. Well, I visited her one time after my mom had passed away, and I had such a hard time with it because my mom never visited Susie in her entire life. And she was always like, my mom was very afraid to travel. She was very afraid to fly. And so she just never went and visited Susie. And Susie would beg her to come out there and stay. And she was like, oh, I will. We'll come out there. And we just never did. That car is like parked in this park like late at night. That's kind of spooky. But anyway, I was like, so Susie's like been, begging me to come out there and stay to visit with her for 20 years, 40 years, honestly. And when I would go visit my friend that lived out there, I would visit her as well. But we went there for dinner one night. But other than that, I've never just spent time visiting Susie, and I would love that. So I think I'm gonna call her tomorrow and be like, okay, girl, I'm coming out there. Even if I just come out there for a couple days, by myself. And yeah, so I had that dream, but then I also had a dream about this friend of mine. And it was the last day of school, and I knew in my head it was the last day of high school, but the campus that I was on was my college campus. And we were leaving one building, which was the science building, and we were walking towards the English building. We were I don't know what we were going to get her. She said something about getting her bike. And then we were walking from there over to the main quad, and I was so happy in the dream. I had on all black, and I had on this black biker jacket. Alex recently found this black biker jacket of mine that's been in the closet forever, and I didn't even know it was in there. And he brought it out, and he's been wearing it. And I was like, that's my black biker jacket. I was like, I forgot all about that. It's all rustic and worn and stuff. And very cool jacket. I forgot I even had it. And I think it was used when I bought it, actually. So anyway, I'm sure that's where part of this dream came from, but I was holding the jacket over my shoulder, and it was so warm outside, and my hair was longer, and I was wearing these black Ray-Bans. I think I have actually some just like that in here. I do. I had these sunglasses on. I wear my sunglasses at night. I have those on, and I was I don't know, I was just in such a good mood, and I knew I was in such a good mood, and I just kept on walking. I don't know, are dreams so weird to you sometimes when you have them? You have no idea what they mean whatsoever. And you're what was the purpose of that dream? I have no idea. That's how I felt. And we were supposed to go walk over to this main quad area and join in with all of our friends. We never made it. I woke up, but I just laid there for a second, and when I woke up with that dream, and I just was okay, you need to call Susie, and I was stuck in that dream of walking across campus, and I was that was the weirdest dream. And it wasn't really weird. It was I think a little bit of it was because I was so I did this Manny Mua video today on my main channel, and I was talking on there, and I had thought about this before I did the video about Robert Smith from The Cure. I talked on there just briefly about how Robert Smith wore makeup, and all my girlfriends in high school thought that he was really hot, and I sang that, show me how you do that trick. The one that makes me scream, she said. The one that makes me laugh, she said. Threw her arms around my head. Anyway, Just Like Heaven by The Cure. And totally tone deaf version of it, though. And I think that made me think a lot about high school today or something. Although I was in college in my dream, which was weird, but I was with a friend from high school. So that does make sense. I don't know why I would have been in college, though. I don't know that that's where my mind went. But it's weird, like, how sometimes, like, your mind doesn't really, like, it doesn't, I don't know how to explain it. If you're younger, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, it doesn't change on some level. Like, I remember my mom said to me one time when she was, like, in her early 50s, she's like, you grow up and you realize, like, your body is getting older, but, like, your mind is the same. And she was like, you know, you wake up one day, and she's like, she said this to me, and she's like, this is my best friend in high school, her name was Margaret, and she said, like, you know, you could be, like, in your 40s or 50s, and you physically would feel like you were in your 40s or 50s, or, like, your life would show that you were in your 40s or your 50s, but then, like, if you were asleep, and I said to you, you know, like, Peter, Margaret's here to pick you up for school, like, your mind would believe that, like, you were still back then. Like, the mind forgets sometimes. And, you know, it's interesting because it's very, very true. Like, I can hear some of the same music or be telling stories from high school, and I'm suddenly, like, transported back to that age, you know? And it's interesting because for me, even though I was drinking and using and stuff like that, you know, at 12 to 16, 17, those were very, like, for me, like, innocent ages. Like, I was kind of an innocent kid. Like, I mean, I got into graffiti, and I was kind of a badass, and, you know, was lippy with people. But at school, like, I was very, like, respectful of teachers. I was not, like, sexually active when all of my friends were. I was very scared of that whole thing. Like, that was very scary to me. Being sexually active was scary. I was, hands down, the oldest of all of my friends. And, you know, when I was, like, early in high school, well, not early, all through high school, I never came out. I didn't come out till after I had graduated from high school, a month later. So I think towards, like, the end, I was telling my friends that I was bisexual, even though I knew I was gay. But I'd have, like, a girlfriend, like, the last year that I was in high school, and my fear was that if we had sex, I would get her pregnant. Like, that was, like, my biggest fear, because I had known people that, you know, got pregnant in high school. And that was terrifying to me, like, absolutely terrifying to me. And I think, like, I didn't really want to have sex with her. Like, you know, I mean, obviously. But I also, like, what's weird about it is I don't remember, like, sexualizing anything in my life. I don't remember, like, having sexual fantasies about guys that I went to high school with. Now, I do remember having, like, crushes that I didn't know were crushes, and they would be very much like, I wonder what their room looks like, I wonder what, you know, they do at night, I wonder what they're like with their friends, you know, things like that. I wonder if they know who I am, I wonder if they wonder, you know, but it was never, like, past that. It was never, and those were typically with other people that were safe, so people that I thought might also wonder about me, if that makes sense. It wasn't like I was picking the biggest jock in high school. Like, I never had crushes on those kind of guys, because I think I knew there was no point, you know what I mean? And for me, it was always kind of about the mystery of it all. So I think I was like, I was either like 19, almost 20 when I lost from my virginity, or I was like 18, almost 19, but I think I was 19, almost 20. And I don't regret it. I remember my friend Jenny said to me, she said, don't hurry and do it, because once you do, A, you'll want to do it all the time. And she said, and B, she said, it's just not that important. And she's like, so save it to do it with somebody that you are really happy that you did that with, which was not my case. But hey, you know, like, we have to own our truth, right? And it is what it is. I would say that, though, like, to wait. like, I love that there are so many, you know, young people out there that are staying virgins until they're getting married. I really, really like that. You know, it's like, I like the principle behind it. I like the philosophy behind it. I wish, I mean, it's not like I was going to wait till I was 36, but you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, it's weird, like in high school, like, I don't really, I mean, I must have thought about that stuff, I guess, but I don't really remember it, to be honest with you. What's so weird is that I would have conversations with my mom about stuff like this, and she would say, I totally don't remember, Peter, I honestly don't. And I'd be like, she is such a liar. And it's like, I'm like, I remember vividly, like, car rides that I took with my friends and my friends, and, you know, I remember exact conversations that we had, but I can't remember, like, you know, if I thought sexually about people when I was in high school. I can't. Like, I honestly, I just can't. And I don't think it's like, well, I'm not wanting to think that. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what it is. It's not like I'm wanting to, like, avoid the question or the inevitable. It's nothing like that. I mean, I was just innocent-minded. I just really was very innocent-minded. And I think it's kind of, like, interesting or funny in retrospect, you know? It's like, because I truly consider myself one of the most open-minded people today. And so when I look back in high school, and it wasn't that I was closed-minded, I would get very nervous or very scared about open-mindedness. And I remember when all of my friends went to Indiana University, Bloomington, my first year of college, and they all became, like, I mean to tell you, within the first month, like, full-fledged hippies. You know, you want to talk about drugs, I mean, like, they were really using, and having all kinds of sex with all kinds of people, and I was like, oh my god, they've all of them done lost their minds. Like, that's what I thought, you know? I mean, I was drinking like it was going out of style, but, like, for me, like, that was, like, they've all lost their minds. They've all thought they were a bunch of hippies now or something. I mean, they were, but, like, and what's interesting is, like, the three that I'm talking about, they still kind of are. Two of them, I chug this water every night. Two of them live on the West Coast and have very much those kind of, like, hippie-ish lives, and the other one lives on the West Coast as well. I mean, they live like in, you know, Washington and Oregon, but they're very much into, like, communal living and all that kind of stuff. I think one of them's a naturopathic physician, and who knows? I used to talk to my one friend they're not like that today at all. I saw two of them because they're sisters a couple years ago. Their pops, their dad had passed away, and they were home visiting, and they were like, you know, Patagonia jackets, and their hair, like, you know, just normal and curly down to their shoulders, and jeans, and they were very in shape, and they were kind of like that, you know, very, like, I've always said that hippie was a state of mind, but they were very much like that kind of aging hippie, you know, that had kind of like that. I wouldn't say they had sold out, not at all. But one that I was telling you, was like a physician, and she and her husband do, like, roadie stuff for bands. And then my other friend, her sister, is like some kind of teacher, and her son, she had like a son when she was like 18, and he recently like went to go travel the world, and she was like the least that I thought would ever get pregnant and have a kid. And I'll never forget when she called me and told me that she was pregnant. That was our freshman year in college. Maybe she was 19. And she moved out to the West Coast right after that. The dad said he didn't want anything to do with it, and she raised him on his own completely, all by himself, and looks to me like she did a great job. But she's went to school. Both of these girls are absolutely brilliant and graduated from Indiana University. She's a teacher. I don't like some kind of, but like a private, like, I can't remember what, it's kind of like a Montessori school. I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, I saw them. Then my other friend that lives in Oregon, she never visits. She hates it here. And she and I have the same birthday. And she's a year younger than me. So we used to call each other on our birthdays. I haven't talked to her in a couple years, and I really miss her, you know. And what's interesting about these three girls, as well as like a friend of mine that lives here in town, is like, well, the two of us, the two friends and my friend that lives here in town and me, like the four of us got together and we went over to my friend's condo that she lives here in town, and we like, it was around Christmas time when the girl's dad died, and we like got pizza and sat around and talked, and we like smoked I brought like clove cigarettes because we used to smoke those in high school, and we listened to like old music, and we like drove around in the car. And it was so funny because like the one sister that's like super professional, like I thought she would totally not be into it, and she's like, can we get coffee like at some gas station like we used to, and like drive around? And then she was like requesting all of these songs. I'm like on YouTube like looking up these songs, you know, and like we were listening to them, and she's like, okay, what was that one song, you know, by the Jesus and Mary Chain? And so we were like listening to all these songs, and she was like rocking out. She was like the most fun of all of it. We had such a great time then. And I've been having like a really hard time like getting older lately. I don't really care so much about like, God, that just came out of nowhere. I didn't expect that. I don't really care so much about getting older, honestly. You know, like, that's not what I mean. Like, the superficial part of it, like the lines and the white hair and all that stuff. I don't care about that. You know, it's like, Alex brought me a magazine home tonight. Like, from, you guys, this emotion, I don't know where it's coming from, except for that I think it's just been, like, kind of pent up recently. And like I said, these videos, this vlog is always so cathartic for me. But Alex brought me home this Entertainment Tonight magazine, and tonight, and it was about the Roseanne, that knew that they were coming back out in 2018 in March. And I was like reading the article, and in the article it says like, it shows each client, and like through the article it shows like each person, each client, it shows each character, and it shows like, it says like what they've been doing since they left the show, and then it says like what their character, where we left their character when it ended, and then it says what their character has been doing and will be doing when they pick up, right? And I like looked at this picture of Roseanne, and I like immediately like started crying, and Alex was like, are you okay? And I was like, I said, I don't know what is going on. I said, she looks so old. I said, I grew up on this show, you know. And I've been thinking a lot about Susie and visiting Susie lately, and, you know, having dinner with my dad and my stepmom, and, you know, my dad's sitting there talking about retiring, and he's 78 years old almost, and I just wish sometimes I could just stop time, you know? I'm not ready for it to be over. I'm not ready to say goodbye to a lot of people. I don't have a lot of people, you know? And so, the people, when the people that you have in your life define your youth, like my dad, or like my Uncle Dave, or like my, you know, Aunt Susie, when those people they're the ones that defined your youth, and they're no longer here, or they're on their way out, you know, it's like, then I'm next. And you become very aware of your own mortality, which it's not like I'm stupid, it's not like I didn't know that. It's just like I have so many things I want to do. And yet, at the same time, I'm like kind of scared to go do those things, you know? This would be a really shitty time to leave me a mean comment, because I'm really being open today on this vlog. ready for it to be over, I guess, you know? I have a wonderful life. I have such a wonderful life, you know? I'm such an amazing husband, and I love my dogs, but like even with my dogs, like, you know, every time PP coughs, I'm like, when is it going to be the last time? You know, that he just can't handle it because his cough is so bad. You know, and I don't know, it's just like, I feel like everything I look at in like this timing way now, like with PP or, you know, just the dogs, it's like I noticed tonight, like when I took the dogs out, like PP always before, he always had to be the first dog out the door. You know, and Boo was always the last one, and it's like PP's the last dog out the door now, you know, it's like, he just doesn't have the fight in him anymore, and, it's like, by the time that you notice that shit, you know, by the time that you notice, like, that you, probably only have so much time to visit your mom's best friend, or, you know, that your dog isn't chasing to be out number one anymore, it's too late. Like, it's too late by the time you realize that. So if you're young, go do that shit. Go do it now. Like, it's just because you don't want to look back on your life and be like, I waited it. It's too long. You know, I waited too long. And I've had a great life. You know, I made this whole stupid video on my Peterisms channel today. This camera is always wanting to shut off, I swear. The yellow thing is on there. I made this whole video on my Peterisms video channel today, deleted it off my camera stupidly. I just sat there, I knew what I was doing. Like, I was getting ready to plug it in, and then I walked away to feed the dogs, and then I came back and I deleted it off the camera. Like I had just uploaded it. I was like, oh, I just uploaded it, and then I deleted it. But it was all about this, like, Oprah Winfrey, Joel Osteen, who I don't love him, but he's okay, whatever, thing that I had seen about where they were like practicing gratitude, but practicing gratitude is also saying thank you for the shit that you've gone through in your life that got you where you are today, that got you to the point where you're standing up today and you're a strong person, and you have to remember that. And you have to remember that the life that you have today is as a result of the shit that you've gone through in your past. And I was sitting there and I was watching that and I was like, oh my God, that's so true. You know, like, this amazing life that I have today is as a result of all of this shit that I've gone through in my past, right? And yet, even the shit was good at times, you know? Like, I don't know, I'm 45. I'm almost 46. I never thought I would be there, you know? I just never thought I would be at 45 or 46. 36, 35, maybe, I could imagine. 30, sure. Late 20s, yeah. 46? It's almost 50. And I don't have a problem with those numbers. I really don't. Like, I know people are watching this, they're like, well, yes, you do. Yes, you do. No, I really don't. Like, call me 65, call me 70. I don't really have a problem with it. What I have a problem with is, like, I don't know how people get to the end of their lives and then they're like, okay with knowing that, well, I'm 78. Well, I'm probably not going to be here, you know, for another 20 years. Like, I don't know, like, how you become okay with that. Like, knowing that you have a limited amount of time to do the things that you want to do with. And to some degree, because I lost a parent so young, I think I, like, see it that way, you know? I don't know, it's crazy. I am, like, so emotional tonight. I don't know what is going on. Anyway, this camera is, I'm at 28 minutes and 43 seconds. It is about to, like, shut off because it's hot anyway. So I'm going to let it cool down for a couple minutes. I'm going to let myself cool down for a couple minutes. That felt good to talk about it. It really did. It felt good to, like, just get that out because I needed to. But I'm going to take a break for a couple minutes and then I'll be back, okay? Okay, I've dried my tears. I've drank some water. I've been sitting here just kind of thinking about things, listening to music. And, You know, this is why, like, this vlog is cathartic to me, or, like, counseling is cathartic to me, or reading books, fictional or otherwise, are cathartic to me, and gratitude lists and journaling and all that kind of stuff, because it helps me process, like, what I'm thinking. And I was sitting here, you know, and I was like, it's like I don't know where that inner voice comes from in my head. I'm sure a lot of us don't, you know, and I was like, well, it's almost kind of like I have a conversation with myself, you know? And I was like, well, life is short. You say that all the time. And, you know, okay, so time's going fast, and you realize that. And you miss these things that happened in the past. But instead of getting stuck with your past, which is great, and it's awesome to revisit it and enjoy it, you know, at the same time, realize that 45 is not old, you know, 46 is not old, and I have a lot of life in me, and to really figure out what it is I want to do at that time, you know? What is it that I want to do to be the healthiest version of myself, so I can have a long, happy, healthy life, you know, excluding any, you know, terrible tragedies or accidents, and what are the things that are most important for me, you know, to do, where are the places I want to visit, who are the people that I want to spend my time with, and, you know, looking back, what would be moments that I think I would relive in my head and say, I wish I could do that again, you know? It's interesting because I'm getting ready to drive by this Bravo restaurant. I don't know why I think this every time I drive by here, but, like, this was like my aunt and I and Susie had dinner, because my aunt was really good friends with Susie too, and we had dinner there, like, when Susie came to visit a couple years ago, and it wasn't like the last time we had lunch with or dinner with Susie and my aunt, because the last time that she came, God, I'm gonna start crying if I come. But anyway, every time I pass this Bravo, which I thought was here, I guess it's up here, I always think of that dinner that I had with them, you know, and, but the last, so anyway, I've been thinking a lot about Susie. I obviously need to get my butt off the chair and schedule a trip to go visit Susie. All I'd have to pay for is the airfare, so, the last time that Susie visited, this is so bad, I'm gonna tell this story, but whatever, it's the truth. So, Susie, and when I was growing up, Susie and my mom would, like, sit around, and they would just, like, tell stories from their past nonstop, and, you know, me and her daughter would just, like, sit there at their feet, you know, we were, like, 8 and 10 and, you know, whatever, and we would just, like, listen to these stories, and they would just drink coffee and smoke one cigarette after another. Like, Susie was not a she's not a drinker, and they would just, but they were smokers, and they would just smoke one cigarette after another. And so the last time that Susie came to visit, she met Alex and I, my aunt, and then one of my aunt's very best friends, who was about 10 scotches in by the time that we got to dinner. And we all had dinner at this place, and then afterwards, we were getting ready to go home, and I got so sad. I always get so sad because I'm like, I don't know when the last time I will see Susie is, you know? Susie is, like, so healthy, it's, like, crazy. She'll probably live to be 105. So anyway, but I said, like, Susie was like, well, she was staying with my aunt and uncle. Well, she was staying with my aunt. My uncle was staying with Caroline that night. And she said, come over. She was like, I'm sure Kathy will probably go to bed early, and then, you know, like, you and I could just sit up and talk for a while. And I was like, okay. And she was like, I know you don't smoke very much anymore, but get a pack of cigarettes. She was like, come over and we'll drink some coffee and whatever. And so I'll never forget it. It was like, I think August, the year that my aunt passed away. So this would have been a year ago, August. This would have been last August, a year before that. And because my aunt showed us the dress that she had, like, bought to take us all to, for her 50th wedding anniversary. It was like this white dress. It was gorgeous. Ended up, we buried her in it, but, we sat there, and then my aunt got so tired, and maybe it was later than August, because it was Susie's high school reunion. I don't think so, though. But anyway, afterwards, Susie and I went down to the basement and just, like, smoked cigarettes and drank coffee. Like, I don't know. It was, like, back in the day. Like, it was weird, but it was nice. And we just sat there and told all these funny old stories, you know, and about, like, it must have been, like, August, because we were sitting outside. I remember we had the sliding glass door open, and we were sitting, like, we took the chairs outside, and it was so warm, and my aunt had lived on a lake, and we were sitting there, like, literally, like, feet from the lake, and it was so gorgeous out that night, and we just kept on running upstairs real quietly, because my aunt went to bed really early, like 8 o'clock, and we just kept on, like, refilling our coffee cups in the kitchen like kids, and then we came downstairs, and we would just, like, we were, like, whisper talking, you know, like how you whisper talk, and telling stories and stuff. So I missed that. It was great, you know? It was a fun night. I'm gonna call Susie tomorrow, and I'm gonna schedule something to go out there and plan something to go out there and visit her. Because she doesn't have that many reasons to come and visit Indiana anymore, although I think her one granddaughter may end up going to Indiana University. And it always cracks me up that kids want to go to Indiana University until I go down to the campus to visit, and I forget how absolutely beautiful it is. The Indiana University is like the East Coast. It's like an Ivy League school, but it's like in the middle of southern Indiana, forests. It's like Hoosier National Forest surrounding it, and it's such a pretty campus, and it's a great school too. I don't know if you guys know that, but Indiana University is an amazing school. It's got a great music school. It's got a great law school, great business. It's got one of the best business schools in the country, Kelly School of Business. It's got some really great sociological programs. It's just a neat program, you know. Neat school all around. It's huge, though. It's like massive. So Bloomington, Indiana is really pretty. That's where Alex went to school. And he finished up here, but he went to school down there, started, and loved it. Oh my God, can't even get him started talking about Bloomington. He loves it. That's what he and Susie, like, when they get together, they talk about, like, because Susie for years was on, like, you know, the IU Foundation and the rearing committee for homecoming, and, like, years after she left, years and years and years after she left. My Aunt Kathy was too, so, and they were all, like, and my dad were very involved in Greek life, as far as, like, you know, fraternities and sororities, of which Alex was never in, but he always wanted to be. He and my mother, if she had ever been alive to talk to him about it, because she was the world's biggest Pi-Phi. I mean, she loved that stuff. My dad was the president of the Fiji House, and, you know, it's interesting because you would think that, like, he would have, like, a lot of guys that are in fraternities talk about it forever. My dad just, like, he went to his fraternity reunion a couple years ago, and he had a really great time, but, like, he was like, he said they're all so old. He goes, Peter, it was so weird. They're all so old. He's like, I don't think of us as that old. And, but he had a good time, but, like, he never talks about it. Like, he's just not that interested in it. Now, my Aunt Kathy never talked a lot about it either, but, I mean, but she, you know, would talk about being proud of being a Pi-Phi. She was a Pi-Phi too. But my mom and Susie, oh my God, like, when I was growing up, Pi-Phi Cookie Shines, they sang the Pi-Phi songs, it was Pi-Fi this, Pi-Fi that, everything. And, I mean, I know every Pi-Fi song there is, you know. Pi-Phi, Pi-Phi, Pi, Beta Phi, I'll be a Pi-Phi all my life until the day I die. I wouldn't be a Kappa, did you hear? Alpha Chi, be a Pi-Phi, Pi-Phi, Pi, Beta Phi. And, but I grew up on those songs, which is so funny to me, you know, like, when I hear those songs and I meet somebody, I'm like, oh, were you in a sorority in college? They're like, yeah, and I'm like, what were you? And they're like, a DG. I'm like, But then, like, I would say those things around my mom, and my mom, what's interesting is, Like, I don't know if you guys have parents that are my age that went to like college and were in fraternities or sororities, but like she'll say like, oh, did you know Judy Smith? She was a DJ at IU, or you know, she was a Kappa at, you know, Ball State or something like that. Like, she knew a lot of people by what their house was, like, which is crazy to me. I mean, do we live in that world anymore? I don't think we really do. But then my brother-in-law, Fufu, I mean, he was a Sigma Chi at Ball State, and my God, I mean, that's all he ever talks about. One year for Christmas, he wanted everything that was Sigma Chi. He wanted blankets and belts and all kinds of shit, you know? I think that stuff is interesting. I'll never forget at my mom's funeral looking out, you know, and seeing like a whole row of all her friends that were Pi Phis in college, and they were just sitting there like front and center, you know? I've told that story before about when I started talking about the Misties of the Pi Phi, and they all kind of like sat up like, you're not gonna say anything, you know, like they're serious about that stuff even today. My mom was also in a sorority when she was in high school. She was in what do you call it, Cutie Pie. She was president of Cutie Pie. She got in trouble for it. I think she was more proud of being in Cutie Pie than she was. The high school, some of the high schools around here have sororities and fraternities, and so they had like dolls, which my cousin was president of, and then they had like Cutie Pie. I mean, these sororities go way back to like the 30s and stuff. So my mom was president of dolls, but they would do, and she wore taps on her shoes, and she made like all the girls wear taps on their shoes so you would hear them coming down the hallway. And she used to get in trouble for it. Like, she got in trouble. She would say that she'd get called in by the dean of girls. Like, they had a dean of girls at the school that she went to, and she'd get called in there by her last name, and they'd say, "No, we've heard of this Cutie Pie. What's this Cutie Pie stuff?" And my mom wouldn't say anything. She had like, my mom had really, I'll have to show a picture of her from high school. She had really short bangs in high school, like blonde, super short bangs and short hair. My mom had really short hair in high school. And then later, when she was in college, she grew her hair out a little bit. She always had platinum blonde hair, even though she was like a natural brunette. She had platinum blonde hair her entire life. But like after high school, like when she was living, like she lived in Indianapolis and was a school teacher, and then she moved to Chicago after she, with my dad did his medical residency and then had me. She had super, super short white platinum blonde bangs, and then like shoulder length hair, real cute. She had that like look for a long time, kind of like those car crash bangs, I think they call them. Anyway. I think I have shown that picture actually in here before, because I have a picture every day that I take out my lighting stuff from this drawer. It's sitting right there on top of all of our journals and stuff. I always see it. Whew, this has been some vlog tonight. My Lord. Y'all got my emotions up. It's been good though. I feel good after having talked about this stuff, you know? And now I need to take it I need to allow it to grow, and I need to take it as a learning experience and say, don't just sit in it. You know, what is the life that you want to have? What is this magical, mystical, amazing life that you want to have, that you'll look back on 2018 and say, that was one of the best years of your entire life, you know? The things you did that year were incredible. What did you do? What experiences did you have? So it's time for me to do that and really start enjoying that stuff, you know? I think we leave for Ultra Music Festival either 8 weeks from today, or I don't know, 7 weeks from today, or 9 weeks from today. Something like that. Excited, and I just can't hide it. All right, you guys, I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.